Okay, so neuroscience shows this over and over again, but the brain is wired in a way that easily confuses repetition with truth. So, what you continue to tell yourself, what you constantly expose yourself to, and what you allow to go unchallenged in your mind will completely rule the shape and the size of your life. And while most men understand that, yeah, we're eventually going to stop growing physically, most of us don't own the fact that successful, healthy men can't afford to be inactive mentally. And no, I'm not talking about going back to college. Let's think deeper than that. Because today we're going to talk about the second discomfort that every powerful man must face, and that's the discomfort of an expanded mind. Let's get it. Hey, what's up, my brothers, and welcome back to Limitless. This series is about what it actually takes to live a powerful, purposeful, and limitless life. We're not talking about a whole bunch of hype here, and this ain't a motivational talk. Hope you get motivated, but this is really about real transformation. So let's kind of get into it. So, why is the discomfort of an expanded mind important? Well, for starters, most men don't stop growing because they lack opportunity. They stop growing because they stop stretching the way they think. They start to rely on what's familiar, they repeat what's comfortable, and somehow we get stuck in that space. I mean, thinking about it, we're all men, and the nature of men is to defend what's theirs. It's to defend what they already have and what they already know. And every dude listening right now knows what I'm talking about. We don't like people changing our stuff. But the problem is that left unchecked, that tendency can turn you into the most average man alive because over time, confidence turns into familiarity, and then familiarity turns into comfort, and then comfort turns into rigidity. And all of a sudden, you're stuck in this place. And the thing that you never allowed to grow is now a self-made cage that you built for yourself. So think about it for a little bit. Anytime you went to another level in any area of your life, it was only because you learned something that made you larger than the stuff you left behind. I mean, when you bought that second house, when you got that certification in that trade, or maybe you even dealt with some inside demons and you felt all of a sudden your relationship got better. Anytime something changed and you went higher, all of that happened because you outgrew your prior way of thinking. So let me make it plain because here's the truth that most men avoid. Your life will never outgrow your thinking. Now, scripture has been saying this all along before psychology and anybody like me wanted to try to sound smart on a videotape. In the book of Proverbs, it says this, we've heard it 1,000 times. It says, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. So in scripture, the heart isn't just emotion. It's actually the center of reasoning. It's the center of belief and where you make your decisions about everything. And so what it's really saying is this, your inner thinking doesn't just influence your life, it becomes your life. I love this quote. You may have heard it, but there's a guy by the name of Wendell Holmes Jr., and he said this. He says, the mind, once stretched by a new idea, never returns to its original dimensions. It makes me think about some cheap spandex, right? But that's not just a quote, y'all. That's a warning. What it's saying is growth permanently reshapes a man, so we must not avoid growth. Some of y'all remember that movie, The Matrix. My boy Keanu Reeves, he played a character called Neo. And in this movie, if you could check it out on your own, but Neo didn't become powerful because he learned how to fight. He became powerful the moment that he accepted an uncomfortable truth. And it was at that moment that his world was expanded and he found freedom because he chose discomfort. And fellas, the discomfort of an expanded mind is typically the discomfort that most men avoid. So what does it look like to choose this discomfort? Well, we can start by making two choices. Here's the first one. Choose curiosity over certainty. There's this thing in my business, I work in technology, but there's this thing called a root cause analysis. And basically, when presented with a challenge, we do a root cause analysis. We don't just assume we know the answer because experience can kill you when you're trying to break into a new field or you're trying to solve a problem that you've never seen before. And so we do a root cause analysis. Some people call it the 5 whys. And that means we just ask 5 questions or we ask why 5 times, peeling back the layers over and over again until we get a really well-rounded view of the topic or the situation that we're facing. We're choosing curiosity because it gives us a lot more wisdom, a lot more perspectives before we take action or we make a conclusion. And the second thing I would say to begin this process of Choosing the discomfort of an expanded mind is you can choose growth over comfort. What does that look like for a man? Well, I can tell you, as men, we work really hard to get to a place where our life is stable and predictable, it's comfortable, and that's not a negative thing. But if we adopt that pattern mentally, what happens is that we begin to limit our ability to transform our lives. We sit in the same chair, we have the same routine, we veg out to the same shows, and all of a sudden we find ourselves with this life that's well managed, but not very memorable. So I'm going to encourage you to choose growth over comfort. What does that mean? So when you choose growth over comfort, you begin by seeking out new perspectives and new patterns outside of the norm. In most situations, when someone brings a question to us or a challenge to us, we tend to lean on our experience, our past experience, to be exact. Start by seeking out new perspectives outside of your norm. Maybe it's outside of your normal circle. Maybe it's outside of your normal patterns. Maybe you're going to watch some YouTube videos or read some books or listen to some podcasts that you hadn't listened to before, but choose some new perspectives outside your circle. You get a broader view and you stretch your mind, you stretch your perspective, and perhaps come up with a solution that you've never seen before. However you start this process, just remember this. The moment that you stop learning is the moment you start shrinking. So let's do something about it this week. For the next 7 days, I want you to join me in spending 20 intentional minutes stretching your mind in a brand new way. You remember a few days ago, I asked you to identify a couple of areas that you say, hey, these things could go higher or should go higher. Let's stay focused on those same areas. But this time, I want you to read something new. I want you to listen to something new. Maybe it's a podcast. I want you to study something new. Get on YouTube and learn some systems or some processes that will help you to grow those areas that you identify. But whatever it is, do something new to expand your mind in one of those areas that challenges you. And when you do, I promise you this, you're going to watch your old life become 2 sizes too small because a stretched mind never returns to its old size. I'll see you next time on Limitless Man Talk. Peace.